Did you even read the requirements? Dr. Patricia Whitmore doesn't touch Jamal's project, doesn't look at his research, just stares at the cardboard display board held together with duct tape and the water filtration system built from plastic bottles and wire hangers. This is the Michigan Regional Science Fair, not a yard sale. Jamal Carter, 12 years old, stands behind his table. His hands shake. His project took 6 months, 4 notebooks of calculations, 73 failed prototypes, everything he had. Ma'am, if you just look at the data— I don't need to look at the data. Dr. Whitmore cuts him off. Her voice carries across the convention center. 20 other judges turn to look. I can see from here this doesn't meet basic presentation standards. She picks up his research binder. The cover is a plastic sheet protector taped to cardboard. Inside, handwritten notes on recycled paper, graphs drawn with a ruler and colored pencils. Where's your typed report, your printed graphs, your professional materials? I don't have a printer at home. Jamal's voice is quiet. I did everything by hand. Then you should have used your school's resources. My school doesn't have a working printer in the science lab. We share one in the library. There's a waiting list. Dr. Whitmore sets down the binder like it's contaminated. What school? King Elementary, Detroit. Her expression shifts. Understanding, judgment, pity that feels like contempt. I see. Those 2 words carry everything. I see you're from the poor school. I see you couldn't afford real materials. I see you don't belong here. Jamal's project sits on the table between them, a water filtration system built from materials that cost $11.47. Plastic bottles, gravel from the playground, sand from a hardware store, activated charcoal from aquarium supplies, wire hangers bent into a frame, rubber bands, duct tape. It looks like garbage. It works like magic. But Dr. Whitmore will never know that. She's already moving to the next table where a girl from Bloomfield Hills Academy stands beside a sleek display, professionally printed poster, 3D printed components, a laptop showing animated simulations. That project cost $3,000. Jamal knows because he heard the girl bragging earlier. His cost $11.47. Guess which one Dr. Whitmore thinks is brilliant? Have you ever been invisible because people decided you weren't worth seeing? Jamal sits in Miss Rodriguez's science class at King Elementary. The ceiling has water stains. The periodic table poster is from 1987. The microscopes don't work. Half of them are missing eyepieces. The other half have cracked lenses. The school board cut the science budget 3 years ago. Then cut it again. Miss Rodriguez is 34, Latina, teaching on an expired temporary certificate because Detroit can't afford to hire permanent teachers. She buys supplies with her own money, spent $340 last month on basic materials, makes $31,000 a year, has $60,000 in student loans. She teaches anyway. Today, she's talking about the Regional Science Fair. Annual competition, open to all Michigan students grades 4 to 12. Winners get scholarships, recognition. Some get recruited by universities. King Elementary hasn't placed in 11 years. Last time they won anything was 2012, 3rd place, engineering category. That student got a full ride to Michigan State, changed his whole life. If anyone wants to enter, I can help you prepare. Miss Rodriguez tries to sound hopeful. The deadline is in 6 months. February 15th, the class is silent. Most kids are thinking about lunch, about getting home safely, about whether the heat will work when winter comes, about Marcus, who got jumped last week walking home, about Keisha, whose mom lost her job. Science fair sounds like something for other kids with money, kids whose schools have actual labs. Jamal raises his hand. Yes, Jamal? What do you have to do to win? Miss Rodriguez smiles. Real research, original thinking, a project that solves a real problem, something that matters. After class, she pulls him aside. You thinking about entering? Maybe. I don't know. You should. You're one of the smartest kids I've taught in 10 years. Jamal looks down. People say that. Teachers, his mom. But smart doesn't mean much when you can't afford the materials to prove it. What would I even do a project on? Miss Rodriguez thinks. What problems do you see around you? What needs fixing? Jamal thinks about his apartment. The water that comes out brown sometimes. The notices on doors in his building. Do not drink tap water. Boil before use. He thinks about his neighbor, Mrs. Chen, 67 years old, carrying gallon jugs of water up 3 flights of stairs because she can't trust what comes from the pipes. Water, he says quietly. Clean water. Miss Rodriguez's eyes light up. That's perfect. That's real. That matters. That night, Jamal walks home from school, 43 minutes, through neighborhoods where houses are abandoned, burned out, boarded up, where streetlights don't work because the city can't afford to fix them, where people don't make eye contact. He counts as he walks, habit from when he was younger, 2,847 steps from school to home. He's measured it. He lives with his mother, Angela Carter, in a 2-bedroom apartment, 3rd floor, no elevator, heat that works sometimes. When it doesn't, they use the oven, leave it open, run up the gas bill, but at least they don't freeze. Angela works 2 jobs. Morning shift at Riverside Nursing Home, 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., wiping bodies, changing bedpans, listening to people call her names sometimes. $13.50 an hour. Evening shift cleaning offices downtown, 6 p.m. to midnight. Vacuuming, emptying trash, being invisible. $12 an hour. After taxes, rent, food, utilities, there's $47 left each month. Sometimes. Jamal knows these numbers. He does the budget with her every Sunday night, sits at the kitchen table with the calculator. Bills in one pile, money in another. Always more bills than money. He knows exactly how broke they are. When she gets home at 12:30 a.m., Jamal is still awake. Homework spread across the kitchen table. Math worksheet, history reading. He's tired, but he can't sleep until she's home safe. Baby, you should be sleeping. School tomorrow. I'm almost done. He doesn't look up. Mama, can I ask you something? Always. The science fair at school. If I entered, would we be able to afford the supplies? Angela sits down slowly. Her feet hurt, swollen from standing all day. Her back hurts, lower back, from lifting patients who weigh more than she does. Everything hurts. What kind of supplies? I don't know yet. I haven't picked the project. She looks at her son. 12 years old. Brilliant. Reads everything. Taught himself algebra from library books when the school didn't offer it until 8th grade. Fixed their broken appliances with YouTube videos. Fixed the refrigerator last month. Saved them $200 they didn't have. She thinks about the $47 in their monthly budget. Some months it's $30. Some months it's $60. Never enough. If you really want to do this, we'll find a way. Jamal looks up. Really? Really? But baby, you have to promise me something. What? Promise me you'll do your absolute best. Don't waste the money on something you're not serious about. Jamal nods. I promise. He doesn't tell her he's already serious. Doesn't tell her he's going to win. He doesn't know if he can, but he's going to try. Jamal spends 2 weeks researching. The Detroit Public Library, main branch, 8 blocks from his apartment, open until 8 p.m. on weekdays. He goes every day after school. The children's librarian, Mr. Peters, notices him. Old white man, maybe 70, been working there for 40 years. You're here every day now. Working on a project. School project? Science fair. Mr. Peters nods. What's your topic? Water filtration. The old man's face changes. Respect. That's important, especially here. He helps Jamal find books, academic journals, research papers, things a 12-year-old shouldn't be able to understand. But Jamal reads them anyway, looks up words he doesn't know, teaches himself. He reads about Flint, Michigan, lead in the water, thousands of kids poisoned. Government knew, did nothing for years. He reads about Detroit neighborhoods, his neighborhood, where tap water fails EPA standards, where people buy bottled water they can't afford, where kids drink poison because their parents don't know better. He reads about expensive filtration systems. Reverse osmosis costs $300. UV treatment costs $500. Whole house systems, $2,000 or more. And he thinks, what if you can't afford that? What if you're like us? He starts designing, buys a notebook from the dollar store. $1, 50 pages. He fills it in 2 weeks. How to filter water using only cheap materials. Materials anyone can find. materials people already have. His first idea, use old t-shirts as filters, layer them, pour water through. He tests it in the apartment bathroom, fills the sink with water, adds dirt from a houseplant, food coloring to make it visible. Pours it through 5 t-shirts stretched over a bucket. The water comes out cloudy, still contaminated. Doesn't work. Failed attempt number 1. Second idea, sand and gravel, basic filtration. He saw it in a video. He goes to the playground, fills a plastic bag with gravel, goes to a construction site, takes sand from a pile, free, layers them in a cut plastic bottle, pours dirty water through. Better. Water is clearer, but too slow. Takes 4 hours to filter 1 gallon. Nobody will wait 4 hours. Failed attempt number 2. Third idea, add charcoal, activated charcoal. He read it removes chemicals. Problem, activated charcoal costs $8 at the pet store, aquarium supply. That's most of his budget. He buys it anyway. Uses birthday money he'd been saving. Builds a new filter, gravel, sand, charcoal, layered in plastic bottles. Tests it. Water comes out cleaner, faster. But the charcoal clogs after 2 uses, has to be replaced. Not sustainable. Failed attempt number 3. He keeps trying. Attempt 7, the bottles leak. Water spills everywhere. His mom's bathroom floor flooded. She doesn't yell, just helps him clean up. Attempt 12, the frame collapses. Wire hangers aren't strong enough. He needs to reinforce them. Attempt 19, the water pressure is wrong. Too much pressure, sand compresses. Too little, water flows around the filter instead of through it. Attempt 23, coffee filters. He adds coffee filters as a final layer. Uses the cheap ones from Family Dollar. Box of 100 for $2. It helps, but not enough. Attempt 31. He changes the gravel size. Smaller gravel at the top, larger at the bottom. Creates better flow. Attempt 45. He discovers the layers need air gaps. If they're too compressed, water can't flow. If they're too loose, filtration doesn't work. By attempt 58, he spent 3 months and $9.47. His mother asks, "How's it going, baby?" Getting closer. Attempt 67. Everything works for the first gallon. Second gallon, the filter clogs. He needs a way to clean and reuse it. He adds a drainage layer at the bottom, small holes, allows backwashing, can clean the filter without disassembling everything. Attempt 73. Success. The water goes in dirty, comes out clean. Every time. Fast enough. 23 minutes per gallon. Reusable. All the materials cost $11.47 total. He runs 47 different tests, documents everything in 4 notebooks now, measures pH, turbidity, does bacterial testing with agar plates he borrows from Ms. Rodriguez. The results are incredible. His system removes 99.2% of contaminants, works with tap water, works with really contaminated water, uses only materials from hardware stores and grocery stores. He's built something revolutionary, and he's terrified nobody will believe him. Jamal spends January building his presentation. The display board is the hardest part. Professional boards cost $15 to $25. He has $2 left from his supply budget. He goes to the back of a furniture store, asks if they have spare cardboard. The manager gives him 3 large pieces, free. He cuts them, tapes them together, creates a trifold display, uses markers to write the title. His handwriting isn't perfect. He tries 5 times, messes up, starts over. Finally gets it right. Low-cost water filtration for environmental justice. Ms. Rodriguez helps after school, provides poster paper, helps him print a few key graphs on the library's computer. Color printing costs 50 cents per page. He prints 3 pages, $1.50. His research binder is handwritten, all 70 pages. Graphs drawn with a ruler and colored pencils, photos of his test results taped in. It looks homemade, because it is. 2 days before the fair, Connor Williams' mom comes to King Elementary. She's volunteering, delivering donated books. She sees Jamal in the science lab with Miss Rodriguez, sees his project. "Oh, how sweet. Is this for a class assignment?" "No, ma'am. Science fair." She looks closer, at the cardboard, the duct tape, the handwritten labels. "Well, you certainly made the most of what you had. Good for you." Her voice has that tone, the tone Jamal knows. The poor kid tried so hard. Miss Rodriguez walks her out quickly, comes back angry. "Don't listen to people like that." "I didn't." But he did. He always does. The Michigan Regional Science Fair is held at the Detroit Convention Center, Cobo Center. Massive space, 200 projects, students from across the state. Jamal arrives with his mother at 7 a.m. Setup time. They took the bus, 90 minutes, 2 transfers, left at 5:30 a.m. Angela called in sick to her morning job, losing $108 she desperately needs. But this is her baby. This is his day. They carry his project in 2 cardboard boxes, the display board folded carefully, the filtration system wrapped in towels so nothing breaks. The parking lot is full of SUVs, Escalades, Range Rovers, Teslas. Parents unloading professional displays. Some have rolling carts. Jamal and his mom walk from the bus stop, 6 blocks. Inside the convention center, chaos. Organized chaos. Students rushing to tables, parents directing setup, event staff checking registration. The space is enormous, high ceilings, professional lighting, 200 numbered tables arranged in rows. Jamal checks his assignment, table 47, back corner, near the bathrooms and emergency exit. They walk through the aisles, past incredible displays. Table 12, a working robot arm, programmed movements, professionally built. The student's father is an engineer at Ford, helped him design it. Table 23, a genetics project, DNA extraction, real lab equipment, microscope that costs $2,000. The student goes to Cranbrook, private school, $35,000 annual tuition. Table 31, solar panel efficiency testing, professional panels, data logger, laptop display. The student's mom runs a renewable energy company. Every project looks like it cost hundreds, some look like they cost thousands. Jamal reaches table 47, sets down his boxes. The table next to him, table 46, a white boy is setting up. Connor Williams, Bloomfield Hills Academy. His project, solar panel angle optimization, testing which angle produces maximum energy. His display, professionally printed on foam core, $150. Mounted solar panels, real working models, $400. Laptop showing animated graphs, $1,200. His whole setup probably cost $2,000. Connor's mom hovers, adjusting things, taking photos. Connor's dad is there too, talking to other parents, networking. Jamal sets up alone. Angela helps him unfold the cardboard display, tape one corner that's coming loose, arrange the filtration system, set out the research binder. When they're done, it looks exactly like what it is. Homemade, poor, out of place. Glancing over, their eyes meet. "Hey, cool project. What's it do?" "Water filtration." Connor looks closer at the plastic bottles, the wire hangers, the duct tape. "Did you make all that yourself?" "Yeah." "Like from scratch?" "Yeah." "Wow, that's really creative." His tone says, "That's really sad." Connor's mom approaches. Designer clothes, expensive watch, hair perfect. "Connor, honey, stop getting distracted. Practice your presentation." She glances at Jamal's table. Her expression shifts. Uncomfortable. Pity. She pulls Connor away. A few minutes later, Jamal hears her talking to another parent. "You see that table? The one with the cardboard? That's what happens when schools don't prepare students properly. Someone should have told that poor child this isn't the right venue for him." Angela hears it too. Her hand tightens on Jamal's shoulder. "Baby, Don't listen to, I know, Mama, I know. But the words hurt anyway. Angela has to leave at 8:30, her shift at the nursing home. Already missed the morning, can't miss the afternoon too. You're going to do amazing. She hugs him tight. I'm so proud of you. What if nobody even looks at it? Then they're fools, and you still did something incredible. She leaves, walks back to the bus stop, 6 blocks. Jamal watches her go through the glass doors. He's alone now. Around him, other students have entourages, parents, siblings, teachers, friends. Jamal has nobody. At table 8, a girl from Ann Arbor Green Hills has 6 people helping her. They're adjusting lights on her display, professional photography lights. At table 15, a boy from Troy, Athens has his whole family, grandparents, aunts, uncles. They're all wearing matching t-shirts, Team Nathan Science Fair 2024. Jamal sits behind table 47, alone, waiting. At 9 a.m., judges begin circulating. 12 of them total, all volunteers. Engineers, scientists, university professors, retired professionals. They wear official badges, carry clipboards, scoring sheets. The process is supposed to be blind. Judges evaluate projects based on merit, scientific method, innovation, presentation. That's the theory. Jamal watches them move through the convention center. Patterns emerge. They spend longer at certain tables, the expensive-looking ones, the professional displays. Judge number 3, an older white man, stops at table 12, the robot arm. Spends 15 minutes, asking questions, taking notes, nodding impressed. He walks past table 47 without slowing down, doesn't even glance. Judge number 7, a younger South Asian woman, stops at table 23, the genetics project. 20 minutes, detailed questions about methodology, clearly impressed. Walks past table 47, eyes skim over Jamal's project, keeps moving. This happens again and again. By 11 a.m., 7 judges have passed table 47. None stopped. Connor's table has been evaluated 3 times. Each judge spent 10 to 15 minutes. Jamal's table? 0 evaluations. At 11:30 a.m., Dr. Patricia Whitmore approaches. She's judge number 4, environmental engineering background, MIT PhD, works for Smithson Environmental Consulting, makes $180,000 per year. She's evaluated this fair for 12 years. In 12 years, she's never awarded top marks to a Detroit public school student. She stops at Connor's table first, spends 14 minutes, loves his solar panel project, gives him high marks. Then she turns to table 47, walks over slowly, clipboard ready, looks at Jamal's display board, at the cardboard, the marker handwriting. Her expression changes. Disappointment. Judgment. Did you even read the requirements? After Dr. Whitmore walks away, Jamal stands frozen behind his table. Other judges continue circulating. He watches them, waiting. Judge number 5 approaches, looks at table 47 from 10 feet away, shakes his head, keeps walking. Judge number 9 stops, reads the title on his display board, picks up the research binder, flips through 2 pages, sets it down, marks something on her clipboard, leaves. Later, Jamal will see her scoring sheet. She gave him 3 out of 10 for presentation, left the rest blank. Total evaluation time, 47 seconds. Judge number 11 doesn't even approach, sees the cardboard display from across the aisle, writes something on his clipboard, moves on. By 1 p.m., awards are announced at 3 p.m., 2 hours left. Jamal has received 1 partial evaluation, 47 seconds, and 1 complete dismissal from Dr. Whitmore. His judging sheet, the one that's supposed to have detailed feedback, is almost blank. Students around him are celebrating, comparing notes, talking about the judges who loved their projects. Connor comes over, face sympathetic. "Hey man, did you get evaluated yet?" "Sort of." "That sucks. I'm sure they'll come back around." But Connor doesn't sound sure. Sounds like he's being polite. At 1:15 p.m., Jamal considers packing up, just leaving. Nobody cares about his project. Nobody's going to look. Then, He sees Ms. Rodriguez. She's running through the convention center, out of breath. She got coverage for her class, drove here on her lunch break, has 45 minutes before she has to drive back. Jamal! She reaches table 47, sees his face, sees the empty judging sheet. Oh no, baby, what happened? Nobody looked, not really. What do you mean nobody looked? He explains, the judges walking past, Dr. Whitmore's dismissal, the 47-second evaluation. Ms. Rodriguez's face goes from concern to rage. Where is she? Ms. Rodriguez, where is Dr. Whitmore? Jamal points. Table 12. She's there now, talking to the robot arm student, laughing, clearly enjoying herself. Ms. Rodriguez walks directly across the convention center, heels clicking, fury in every step. Jamal watches from table 47. She approaches Dr. Whitmore mid-conversation. Excuse me, Dr. Whitmore, I need to speak with you. Dr. Whitmore turns, annoyed at the interruption. I'm in the middle of an evaluation. You need to evaluate table 47. I already did. No, you didn't. You looked at it for 30 seconds and walked away. The student at table 12 looks uncomfortable. Other nearby people are starting to listen. Dr. Whitmore's voice goes cold. Ma'am, I don't know who you are, but I'm Elena Rodriguez. I teach at King Elementary. That's my student at table 47, and you dismissed his project without even reading his research. I assessed what needed to be assessed. The presentation standards are about scientific content, not about whether the display board is professional. His research is thorough, his methodology is sound, his results are significant, but you wouldn't know that because you never looked. Other judges are watching now, students, parents. Dr. Whitmore's face flushes. I've been judging this fair for 12 years. I know how to evaluate a project, and frankly, if students can't meet basic presentation requirements, that reflects on their preparation. He's 12 years old. His school doesn't have a science budget. He bought all his materials himself. He did everything by hand because he doesn't have access to the tools your students take for granted. Then perhaps he wasn't ready to compete at this level. The words hang in the air. Ms. Rodriguez's voice shakes with rage. Or perhaps you're not qualified to judge students you've already decided aren't worth your time. Dr. Whitmore's expression hardens. I think you need to leave. This is a professional evaluation space. I'm not leaving until you do your job. Security start moving toward them. The fair coordinator, a nervous man in his 50s, rushes over. Ladies, please, let's keep this professional. Ms. Rodriguez turns to him. She's refusing to evaluate my student's project. She looked at it for 30 seconds, never read his research, didn't ask any questions, just decided it wasn't worth her time. The coordinator looks at Dr. Whitmore. Patricia? Dr. Whitmore's voice is ice. I evaluated what I saw. The project doesn't meet standards. If Ms. Rodriguez has a complaint, she can file it through proper channels. Proper channels take weeks. The awards are in 2 hours. Then I suggest she should have ensured her student was properly prepared. Dr. Whitmore turns her back, returns to table 12. The conversation is over. Ms. Rodriguez stands there, shaking, helpless. She returns to Jamal. I'm sorry, baby. I tried. It's okay, Ms. Rodriguez. It's not okay. Tears stream down her face. She's failed him. She knows it. I have to go back to school. I have a class at 2 o'clock. She hugs him. You did something amazing, even if they can't see it. She leaves. Jamal sits alone at table 47. Around him, students are excited, nervous, hoping for awards. He's given up hoping.
At 2:30 p.m., students start gathering near the stage. Award ceremony at 3. Jamal doesn't move from his table. What's the point? He starts packing, carefully wrapping his filtration system, folding his display board. Then someone approaches. A man, late 40s, black, wearing a visitor badge, not a judge badge. Business casual, slacks, button-down shirt, carrying a coffee. He stops at table 47, sets down his coffee, looks at Jamal's project, really looks. You build this? Jamal looks up. Yes, sir. Show me how it works. Jamal hesitates. Another person about to dismiss him? Another person who'll look for 10 seconds and walk away? But the man is waiting, patient, genuinely interested. Okay. Jamal unpacks the filtration system, sets it up, pours dirty water into the top, water he mixed this morning, tap water plus dirt, food coloring, a little cooking oil, visibly contaminated. The water flows through the layers, gravel catching large particles, sand filtering smaller particles, charcoal absorbing chemicals and odors, coffee filter providing final filtration. The man watches closely, silent. 23 minutes later, clean water drips from the bottom, clear, pure. The man picks up the output container, holds it to the light, examines it. No cloudiness, no color, no odor. Do you have test results? Jamal hands him the research binder, handwritten, graph paper, 70 pages. The man sits down, starts reading, flips through pages, his eyebrows rise. 5 minutes pass. 10 minutes. He's still reading. Finally, he looks up. You tested for bacterial reduction? Yes, sir. Using agar plates, standard growth media. I couldn't test for specific pathogens, but I tested for general bacterial contamination. What was your reduction rate? 99.2%. The man flips to that page, studies the data. You ran 47 different tests. Yes, sir. Different contamination levels, different water sources, tap water, puddle water, water with food waste. I wanted to see if it worked consistently. And did it? Yes, sir, every time. The man keeps reading, finds the section on cost analysis. You documented total materials cost. Yes, sir, $11.47. Everything's available at regular stores. I wanted to make sure anyone could build this. Why? Jamal hesitates. Because my neighbor can't afford a $300 filter. Because kids in Flint still can't drink their water. Because people shouldn't have to choose between water and food. The man sets down the binder. Son, do you understand what you've built here? A water filter? This is a point-of-use filtration system using locally sourceable materials with performance metrics comparable to commercial systems that cost 200 times more. Jamal blinks. Is that good? The man laughs, not mean, genuinely amused. It's extraordinary. I'm Dr. Marcus Webb. I'm a systems engineer at NASA. NASA? Johnson Space Center, Houston, Life Support Systems Division. What do you do there? I design systems that keep astronauts alive in space, water recycling, air filtration, resource management. Oh, and for the past 3 years, my team has been trying to solve this exact problem. What problem? How to build an emergency water filtration system using only materials available on the International Space Station. If something breaks, if the main system fails, astronauts need a backup. But we can't send replacement parts, too expensive, too heavy, so they need to build something from what's already there. Did you solve it? No. We've spent $40 million over 3 years, tested hundreds of designs. Nothing works well enough. Dr. Webb looks at Jamal's filtration system. But you did. Using $11.47 and wire hangers? Jamal's heart stops. Can I ask you some detailed questions? Yes, sir.
For the next 20 minutes, Dr. Webb asks technical questions. Specific, detailed, questions that assume Jamal knows what he's talking about. And Jamal answers every one. explains his design choices, his iterations, why he chose these specific materials, how he optimized the flow rate, why the layers are arranged this way. Dr. Webb takes notes, photographs the project, the research binder, the test results. Other judges start noticing. Who's that man at table 47? Why is he spending so long there? Isn't that the kid with the cardboard display? Dr. Patricia Whitmore is at table 31, solar panel efficiency. She glances over, sees Dr. Webb, recognizes him. Her face goes pale. She excuses herself, walks toward table 47. "Excuse me, this is a judging period. Only official judges are allowed to—" She sees Dr. Webb's NASA badge. Her voice dies. Dr. Webb doesn't look up, keeps questioning Jamal. "How did you determine the optimal charcoal to sand ratio?" "Trial and error. I tested 9 different ratios. This one had the best flow rate without sacrificing filtration quality." "Did you consider cost optimization?" "Yes, sir. Every material was chosen because it's available at regular stores. No specialty items, no online ordering. Anyone can replicate this with $12 and a trip to the hardware store." Dr. Webb sets down his phone, looks at Dr. Whitmore. "Patricia. Marcus." They know each other. Professional conferences, industry events. "This young man has solved a problem my team at NASA couldn't solve in 3 years and $40 million. Did you evaluate his project?" Dr. Whitmore's face flushes. There were presentation standards issues." "Presentation standards?" Dr. Webb picks up the research binder. Handwritten pages, careful graphs, detailed documentation. "This is the most thorough documentation I've seen today." He points at the filtration system. "And this is innovative engineering using constrained resources. That's exactly what NASA does. That's what good engineering is." He turns to Dr. Whitmore. "You walked past this?" She doesn't answer. Dr. Webb turns back to Jamal. "Son, I'm going to do something unusual. I'm going to ask the fair coordinators if I can submit an evaluation as a guest expert. NASA has a partnership with this fair. We send representatives. I'm here in that capacity." "You can do that?" "I can try. Would that be okay with you?" "Yes, sir." Dr. Webb walks toward the coordinator's desk. Dr. Whitmore follows, protesting quietly. Jamal stands alone again, but different now. Somebody saw him. Somebody understood. Other students are staring, whispering. "That's the NASA guy. He spent 20 minutes at table 47. What's at table 47? The kid with the cardboard display." Connor approaches, face confused. "Dude, what just happened?" "I don't know. That was someone from NASA." "I know. What did he say?" Jamal's voice is quiet. "He said I solved something his team couldn't solve." Connor stares. "No way." Way. For the first time all day, Jamal feels something other than invisible. At 3 p.m., the awards ceremony begins. The convention center stage. Microphone. Projection screen showing sponsor logos. 200 students and their families fill the space. Jamal sits in the back row, alone. Ms. Rodriguez couldn't come back. His mother is at work. The announcer takes the microphone. Enthusiastic voice, professional smile. "Welcome to the Michigan Regional Science Fair Awards Ceremony. We have some incredible talent here today." Applause, parents cheering. "We'll start with honorable mentions." 10 names called. The announcer reads names. Students walk to the stage, shake hands, get certificates. Not Jamal's name. Then third-place categories: engineering, biology, chemistry, physics, environmental science. Connor Williams wins 3rd place in engineering for his solar panel project. He runs to the stage. His parents stand cheering, phones out recording. His whole family celebrates. Jamal claps, genuinely happy for Connor. Third place is amazing. Then second place categories. Not Jamal. Then first place. Engineering, Sarah Chen from Ann Arbor Green Hills, the Genetics Project. Environmental Science, Michael Rodriguez from Troy, Athens, water quality testing in local streams. Not Jamal. The ceremony is almost over. Jamal prepares to leave. At least he tried. At least he built something real. Then the announcer pauses. Before we conclude, we have a special announcement. The room quiets. This year, for the first time in regional fair history, we are presenting a grand prize award. Murmurs through the crowd. This is new, unexpected. This award recognizes a project that demonstrates exceptional innovation, real-world impact, and scientific excellence despite significant resource constraints. The screen behind the announcer changes, shows the grand prize criteria. Dr. Marcus Webb walks onto the stage. The room buzzes. Who is that? Good afternoon. I'm Dr. Marcus Webb, Systems Engineer at NASA's Johnson Space Center. Silence. NASA gets attention. For the past 3 years, my team has been working on emergency life support systems for the International Space Station, specifically water filtration systems that can be built from available materials in case of equipment failure. He pauses. We've spent $40 million. We've tested hundreds of designs. We haven't found a satisfactory solution. The audience leans forward. Today, I found that solution at Table 47, built by a 12-year-old student from Detroit using $11.47 in materials from a hardware store.
Gasps. The screen changes. Shows photos of Jamal's project. The wire hangers, the plastic bottles, the duct tape. Some people laugh, not mean, surprised. I know what you're thinking. This looks like it was built in someone's kitchen, because it was. But this young man didn't have access to 3D printers, professional labs, or expensive materials. He had wire hangers and duct tape. Dr. Webb's voice strengthens. And he used those simple materials to create a filtration system with 99.2% contamination reduction, a 23-minute flow rate, and complete replicability using only common household items. His documentation is thorough. His methodology is sound. His innovation is extraordinary. The room is completely silent. This is the kind of engineering NASA does. This is the kind of problem solving that changes the world. Not because you have unlimited resources, because you solve problems with whatever you have. He looks directly at the audience. The grand prize, including a $10,000 scholarship, full funding for continued project development, and an invitation to present at NASA Johnson Space Center, goes to Jamal Carter from King Elementary School, Detroit. For 3 seconds, nobody moves. Then the room explodes. Applause, shock, confusion, excitement. Jamal sits frozen. His brain can't process what he just heard. Dr. Webb looks toward the back row. Jamal Carter, are you here? People turn, looking. Someone points. Back row, that's him. Jamal stands on shaking legs. The applause grows louder. He walks down the aisle, feels like floating, like dreaming. Students stare, some smile, some look confused, some look angry. He reaches the stage, climbs the steps. Dr. Webb hands him a trophy, tall, glass and metal, his name engraved on a plaque. Congratulations, son, you've done something remarkable. The cameras flash, the crowd applauds. Jamal looks out at 200 people,
sees Connor's parents whispering to each other, sees Dr. Whitmore in the third row, face like stone, sees the coordinator looking panicked. This wasn't planned. And then he sees her, his mother, standing in the very back, near the exit, still in her nursing home scrubs. She must have left work, lost pay, probably got written up. But she's here, crying, hands over her mouth. Jamal holds up the trophy. She nods, smiling through tears. He did it. The announcer tries to restore order. Let's give another round of applause to all our winners today. Polite applause. But people are still whispering, still processing. Did that really just happen? Did NASA just say his project was better than million-dollar research? Jamal walks off stage, trophy in hand, still floating. Students approach, some congratulating, some just staring. Connor finds him. Dude, that was insane. Yeah. No, seriously, NASA. That guy said your project solved something they couldn't solve. I know. Connor looks at the trophy, then at Jamal. I'm sorry I didn't really look at your project earlier. I just assumed. He doesn't finish. Jamal nods. It's okay. No, it's not. I judged you. Everyone did. Jamal doesn't answer, because Connor's right. His mother reaches him, hugs him so tight he can barely breathe. Baby, my baby! She's crying hard. I'm so proud of you. Did you leave work? Don't worry about that. This is more important. Mama, you're going to get in trouble. I don't care. Let them fire me. I had to be here. She pulls back, looks at the trophy. $10,000? Scholarship for college. Angela starts crying again. Ms. Rodriguez appears running. She must have left school again. I heard on the radio. Jamal. She tackles him in a hug. You did it. You actually did it. Dr. Webb approaches. Mrs. Carter, I'm Dr. Webb. Angela straightens, intimidated. This is NASA. Your son is exceptional. Thank you, sir. I'd like to invite both of you to Houston, NASA Johnson Space Center. We want to test Jamal's design, see if we can adapt it for space applications. All expenses paid, hotel, flights, meals, and we'll pay Jamal a consulting fee, standard rate for technical consultants, $150 per hour. Angela's knees almost buckle. Ms. Rodriguez catches her. It's fair compensation for his expertise. He's 12 years old. He's an engineer who solved a $40 million problem. Age doesn't matter. Innovation does. By that evening, the video is everywhere. Someone recorded the entire award ceremony, posted it to YouTube. 12-year-old from Detroit wins science fair, beats NASA at their own game. 500,000 views by midnight, 1 million by morning. The comments section explodes. This kid is going places. This is what genius looks like. Meanwhile, rich kids need $3,000 just to place third. This made me cry. Representation matters. But other comments are darker. Probably got help from an adult. Diversity award, not a real award. NASA is just virtue signaling. No way a kid from Detroit did this alone. Jamal doesn't read comments. Ms. Rodriguez makes sure of it. But Dr. Patricia Whitmore reads them. She receives 47 emails in 2 days from colleagues, former students, professional organizations, all asking the same question. Did you really dismiss that kid without evaluating him? The Michigan Science Fair Board launches an investigation, reviews all judging sheets from the fair, finds something disturbing. Dr. Whitmore evaluated 23 projects, spent an average of 12 minutes per project, except for 6 projects. All 6 from Detroit Public Schools, all 6 students of color. Average time spent, 2 minutes. Average score given, 4 out of 10. None advanced. The pattern is undeniable. 5 days after the fair, Dr. Whitmore receives an email from Michigan Regional Science Fair Board. Subject, removal from judging panel. Dear Dr. Whitmore, after reviewing judging records from the 2024 Regional Fair, the board has identified concerning patterns in your evaluation methodology, specifically disparate treatment of students from under-resourced schools. Effective immediately, you are removed from the judging panel. This removal is permanent. We thank you for your past service. 1 week later, her employer, Smithson Environmental Consulting, receives complaints. Clients asking, "Is this the same Dr. Whitmore who dismissed that NASA kid?" The firm releases a statement. Dr. Whitmore has resigned to pursue other opportunities. She didn't resign. She was forced out. Her reputation in shambles, her career damaged, all because she couldn't see past cardboard and duct tape. 3 weeks later, Jamal and his mother board a plane to Houston. Jamal has never flown before, never been out of Michigan. The plane ticket cost $340. NASA paid for it. The hotel is nice, really nice, nicer than anywhere they've ever stayed. Angela keeps touching things, the soft towels, the real coffee maker, the bed that's actually comfortable. "Baby, this is too much." "Mama, they invited us. We're supposed to be here." The next day, a car picks them up, drives them to Johnson Space Center. Enormous, sprawling campus, buildings everywhere, signs pointing to mission control, astronaut training, life support systems. Jamal's heart pounds. Dr. Webb meets them at the entrance. Visitor badges, security clearance. "Welcome to NASA." They tour the facility, see mission control, the actual room where they communicate with the International Space Station, see astronaut training pools where they practice spacewalks underwater, see engineering labs where they build systems that go to space. Then they reach the Life Support Systems building. Dr. Webb's team, 15 engineers, PhDs, decades of experience. They've built a full-scale prototype of Jamal's design. Same materials, wire hangers, plastic bottles, charcoal, sand, gravel, but larger, industrial scale. "We want to run tests," Dr. Webb explains, "see if your system works under different conditions, extreme temperatures, low pressure, microgravity simulation." Jamal nods. For 6 hours, the NASA team tests Jamal's design, runs water through it at different pressures, different temperatures, different contamination levels. Every test, it works. The lead engineer, Dr. Sarah Martinez, approaches Jamal. "How did you figure out the layer spacing?" "Trial and error, mostly. I tested different configurations until I found one that worked." "We tried that too, tested 200 different configurations over 2 years, never found this exact ratio." Jamal shrugs. "Maybe I got lucky." Dr. Martinez smiles. "That's not luck, that's intuition, good engineering intuition." At the end of the day, Dr. Webb's team gathers. They want to use Jamal's design as the foundation for their emergency backup system. They'll adapt it, make modifications for space, but the core concept is his. "We'll pay you a consulting fee," Dr. Webb says, $150 per hour for your time today. 6 hours, that's $900. Plus, he continues, we're filing a patent, joint patent, NASA and Jamal Carter. If this system gets implemented, you'll receive royalties." Royalties? Money. Every time someone uses this system. Could be thousands, could be hundreds of thousands. Angela almost faints. The check arrives 2 weeks later, $900. More money than Angela makes in 3 weeks. Jamal hands it to his mother. "This is yours." "Baby, no, you earned this. You worked 2 jobs so I could afford supplies. This is for you." She cries, takes the check, pays off 2 months of rent, buys groceries they haven't been able to afford, gets Jamal new shoes. His current ones have holes. The story spreads wider. CNN picks it up. Feature story. From $11 to NASA, how one boy changed engineering. The Today Show interviews Jamal. He's nervous on TV, but honest. What do you want to tell other kids who think they can't do science? Jamal thinks carefully. You don't need expensive stuff to do something important. You just need to care about solving a problem. The interview goes viral. 3 million views. MIT reaches out. Early acceptance offer. Full scholarship when he's ready for college. So does Stanford, Caltech, Carnegie Mellon. He's 12 years old, has 6 years until college, but they're already competing for him. King Elementary receives donations, $100,000 total from various sources, anonymous donors, small businesses, parents from other schools who saw the story. The science lab gets renovated, new equipment, working microscopes, computers, lab supplies. Miss Rodriguez gets a permanent contract, benefits, $48,000 per year. She cries when she signs. I can finally afford to live. More importantly, something else happens. Students at King Elementary start caring about science. Miss Rodriguez's next science class, 23 students. 17 raise their hands when she asks who wants to enter next year's science fair. 17. Last year, it was just Jamal. One girl, Destiny, 11 years old, approaches Miss Rodriguez after class. Can I really enter, even if I don't have money for supplies? Yes, absolutely yes. What if my project isn't as good as Jamal's? It doesn't have to be as good as Jamal's. It just has to be yours. Destiny smiles. Starts working on a project about urban gardens, growing food in vacant lots. Another student, Marcus, 13, wants to study air quality near highways. Another, Keisha, 10, wants to build a solar charger for phones using items from the dollar store. They're inspired. They believe it's possible because Jamal showed them. 1 year later, the next Michigan Regional Science Fair. Jamal returns, not competing, guest speaker. The convention center is packed. Every school in the state sent representatives, especially Detroit schools. King Elementary has 8 students competing. 8, more than they've had in 20 years. Jamal takes the stage, same stage where he won. He's 13 now, taller, more confident. Looks out at 500 students. Last year, I stood in the back corner with a cardboard display and duct tape. Most judges walked past without looking. One judge told me I didn't belong here. The room is silent. I almost left. I almost gave up because I believed them, believed that kids like me, from schools like mine, couldn't compete with students who had everything. He pauses. But then someone saw past the cardboard, saw the actual work, and everything changed. Applause starts. If you're sitting here thinking you're not good enough because you don't have fancy equipment or expensive materials or a professional lab, you're wrong. His voice strengthens. The best engineering happens when you have constraints, when you have to figure out solutions with limited resources. That's innovation. That's what changes the world. The applause grows. I didn't win because I had advantages. I won because I had a problem I cared about solving, and I didn't quit when people told me I wasn't good enough. He holds up a wire hanger, same type he used in his project. Start with this, with whatever you have, and build something that matters. Standing ovation, students on their feet, teachers, parents. In the audience, 8 King Elementary students watch their friend, their inspiration.
Destiny leans to Marcus. We can do this. Yeah, we can. That year, King Elementary wins 2 honorable mentions, 1 third place, 1 second place. Destiny's Urban Garden Project wins 2nd place in environmental science. She cries on stage, holds her certificate like it's gold. Miss Rodriguez cries in the audience. 2 years later, the Detroit School Board restores science funding, not to previous levels, but enough. The argument that won: if students from under-resourced schools can win regional fairs and attract NASA attention, imagine what they could do with proper support. 5 years later, Jamal is 17, accepts early admission to MIT, full scholarship, plus stipend. Studies environmental engineering, specializing in low-cost water systems. His senior thesis: scalable water filtration for developing nations using locally available materials. Continues the work he started at 12. UNICEF adopts his designs, teaches communities in 47 countries how to build filtration systems themselves. Over 200,000 people gain access to clean water because a 12-year-old bent wire hangers and stacked plastic bottles. At 21, Jamal receives the Presidential Medal of Freedom, youngest recipient in history. The ceremony is at the White House, his mother beside him, Miss Rodriguez in the front row, Dr. Webb there too. The president places the medal around his neck. For revolutionary contributions to global water accessibility and for demonstrating that innovation knows no economic boundaries. Cameras flash, the nation watches, and somewhere in Detroit, in Miss Rodriguez's science class, a girl raises her hand. "Can I enter the science fair?" Miss Rodriguez smiles, the same smile she gave Jamal years ago. "Absolutely. What do you want to build?" The girl thinks about Jamal's story, about cardboard and duct tape, about $11.47 changing the world. Something that helps people. Then you're already on the right track.
If this story moved you, share it with a young person who needs to know their circumstances don't define their potential. Comment below, what would you build with $11 and a dream? Subscribe for more stories where brilliance defeats bias, where kids prove adults wrong, where genius gets the last word. If today's story spoke to you, click like, join the conversation in the comments, and subscribe so you'll be here for the next story.